Have you ever pondered how religion has shaped our political landscape? It's a question that sparks curiosity and prompts us to delve into the annals of history. Religion and politics, two spheres that have been intertwined since the dawn of civilization. They are like two celestial bodies in a cosmic dance, each influencing the other's trajectory. They have been so closely linked that separating them would be akin to removing one strand from a tightly woven fabric. Take a journey back in time to the ancient civilizations of Egypt and Rome. Here, the line between religion and politics was almost non-existent. Pharaohs and emperors were not just political leaders, they were also religious figures, seen as gods or divine intermediaries. Their edicts were not simply laws, they were divine mandates, and their influence extended beyond the temporal realm into the spiritual. This fusion of religion and politics had profound implications. It shaped societal norms and laws, dictated moral codes, and defined the very fabric of these societies. The influence of religion was not confined to the temples and the religious ceremonies. It permeated every aspect of life, from the marketplaces to the royal courts. This intertwining of religion and politics was not unique to Egypt and Rome. Across continents and cultures, we see similar patterns. From the ancient Mayan civilization, where kings were considered divine, to the Chinese emperors who performed religious rituals to ensure cosmic harmony, the influence of religion on politics was profound and pervasive. Religion provided a moral framework, a common set of values, and a shared identity, which often helped in maintaining social order. But it also led to conflicts and power struggles, shaping the course of history in ways that still resonate today. The roots of religion's influence on politics run deep, starting from our earliest civilizations. It's a fascinating exploration of the complex relationship between two of humanity's most enduring institutions. As we journey forward in time, we'll see how this relationship evolves, how it shapes our world, and how it continues to influence our political ideologies today. As we delve into the Middle Ages, we discover a time when the Church wielded considerable political power. From the 5th to the 15th centuries, the Catholic Church was not only a spiritual institution, but also a major political entity in Europe. In this era, the Church was deeply intertwined with the state. The Church's influence extended far beyond the spiritual realm, reaching into the secular world, from laws and education to the economy and politics. Bishops and archbishops often held significant political roles, acting as advisors to kings and even serving as regents in their absence. One of the most striking examples of this intertwining of church and state was the concept of the divine right of kings. This theory held that a monarch's authority was not granted by the people or even by secular law, but directly by God. This divine endorsement provided a potent justification for monarchical rule, and it was often used to quell any thoughts of rebellion or dissent among the populace. The Church's political power was also evident in the Crusades, a series of military campaigns waged in the name of Christianity. Initiated by the popes, these holy wars were not merely about faith, but also about political control and territorial expansion. The Crusades significantly reshaped the political landscape of the Middle East and Europe, and their effects are still felt today. Moreover, the Church had the power to excommunicate political leaders, a move that could delegitimize a ruler's authority and destabilize their rule. This power of excommunication was a potent tool in the Church's political arsenal, reinforcing its influence over secular matters. The Middle Ages, therefore, presents a fascinating study of how religious institutions can wield political power. It was a time when the roles of the Church and the state were deeply entwined, and when religious doctrine could shape political ideologies and actions. The Middle Ages was a period where the line between religious and political authority was often blurred. The Age of Enlightenment brought about a shift, challenging the intertwined relationship between religion and politics. As the 17th century dawned, a new intellectual movement swept across Europe, known as the Enlightenment. This period saw a profusion of ideas advocating reason as the primary source of authority, effectively challenging the long-held religious and monarchical dominance. Prominent among these Enlightenment thinkers was John Locke. Locke, an English philosopher, held the belief that individuals have the natural right to life, liberty, and property. He argued that the state should not have a say in the spiritual salvation of its citizens, thereby advocating for the separation of church and state. This was a radical departure from the norm, as it placed individual rights and freedoms above the dictates of a religiously endorsed state. Across the Atlantic, these ideas resonated with the likes of Thomas Jefferson, a key figure in the American Revolution. Jefferson, heavily influenced by Locke, championed the idea of religious liberty, which became a cornerstone of the American Revolution. This led to the inclusion of the principle of the separation of church and state in the First Amendment to the United States Constitution. In Europe, the French Revolution also drew inspiration from the Enlightenment thinkers. The French revolutionaries, in their quest for liberty, equality, and fraternity, sought to break free from the stranglehold of the Catholic Church on the French state. This resulted in the establishment of secularism as a fundamental principle of the French Republic, further cementing the concept of the separation of church and state. The Enlightenment era was not just a period of philosophical awakening, it was a catalyst for profound political change, challenging the age-old intermingling of religion and politics. The ideas of thinkers like Locke and Jefferson were instrumental in shaping modern democratic ideals and the concept of secular states. The Enlightenment era marked a turning point, leading to the concept of secular states that we see today. Even in our modern world, the influence of religion on politics cannot be ignored. In the current era, religion continues to play a significant role in shaping political ideologies. It often serves as a moral compass, guiding the beliefs and actions of both politicians and their constituents. Consider the ongoing debates surrounding issues such as abortion and same-sex marriage. These discussions are deeply intertwined with religious beliefs. For some, religious doctrines inform a belief in the sanctity of life from conception, leading to opposition to abortion. For others, religious teachings about love and acceptance fuel support for same-sex marriage. It's a complex interplay where personal faith intersects with public policy. And it's not just about individual beliefs. Religious institutions themselves often wield considerable political influence. They can mobilize their members as a potent voting bloc, capable of swaying the outcome of elections. In some cases, religious leaders might endorse particular candidates, aligning their followers' political leanings with their spiritual guidance. Religious freedom laws also exemplify the intersection of faith and politics. These laws aim to protect individuals' right to practice their religion without interference. At the same time, they can become flashpoints for controversy when they're perceived to infringe on other rights, such as non-discrimination protections. Moreover, religion can shape national and international politics. In some parts of the world, religious identities are closely tied to political affiliations, influencing everything from domestic policies to diplomatic relations. And in nations where religion and state are not separated, religious doctrines may directly inform the legal and political systems. To sum up, the influence of religion on modern politics is multifaceted. It shapes individual viewpoints, informs policy debates, mobilizes voters, and even guides diplomatic relations. Despite the trend toward secularization in many societies, the intertwining of religion and politics persists. In our contemporary political landscape, religious beliefs continue to shape political ideologies and decisions. From the dawn of civilization to our modern world, the impact of religion on politics remains undeniable. This journey we've embarked on has taken us from the earliest societies where religious and political authority were often one and the same, to the Middle Ages where the Church not only provided spiritual guidance, but also wielded significant political power. We've seen how during this period, the Church influenced the political landscape, dictating the moral and legal code of the societies they governed. Religious leaders were often also political leaders, and the Church had the power to crown kings and shape empires. The intertwining of religious and political authority was the status quo, setting the stage for the political ideologies and structures that followed. Our journey then brought us to the Age of Enlightenment, a pivotal era that challenged the status quo and introduced the concept of the separation of church and state. This period saw philosophers and thinkers advocating for reason and individual rights, pushing back against the Church's authority over political matters. Their efforts led to the birth of secular states, where religious institutions no longer held political power. But even in these secular states, the influence of religion on politics was not entirely erased. In our modern world, religion continues to shape political ideologies and decisions. It informs the values and beliefs of individuals and communities, which in turn influence their political leanings and actions. Even in secular societies, religious beliefs can influence policymaking and political discourse. From civil rights issues to foreign policy decisions, the echoes of religious influence can still be heard. Our exploration has shown us that while the relationship between religion and politics has evolved over time, the influence of religion remains a significant factor in political ideologies and structures. It's a complex and often contentious relationship, but it's also a testament to the enduring power of belief and the human desire for guidance and governance. Religion and politics, two facets of society that, despite their distinct domains, continue to shape and influence each other in profound ways.